Fuck. Ah! Hello everybody and welcome back to some more beta Minecraft. In the last episode we built our lumber mill, and as you can see in the time since, I've built a road connecting our town to it. And from what I can tell just by walking, it is probably slower than just going over the hill, but I do like how it connects the two landmarks visually. Now you're probably wondering why I've decided to start this video at the top of our mountain overlooking our village. Well, that's because today we are working on our nether portal. As you can see, I've had it disabled for the sake of recording this intro as it was quite loud and obnoxious, but we will have this up and running in no time, trust me. As amusing a visual as it was, looking up at our mountain and seeing this purple obelisk, I think it would look much more fitting if we had a building to house our nether portal up here. Now, originally I thought we could maybe build like a wizard's tower, but we're actually pretty close to the build height limit of 128. As you can see, we're at Y104. So we don't have a lot of vertical room to work with. So I thought, what better to build up on this mountain plateau than a temple? A temple for our portal to hell. So I'm going to be building it in the style of the Parthenon in Athens, Greece. So our main building block for today is going to be sandstone, which is a bit unfortunate because there are no sandstone slabs or stairs in beta Minecraft, but it's okay. I'm okay with it looking a bit more blocky. The first thing we're going to be doing, of course, as usual, is terraforming. Again, it's all I do. We're going to widen this out just a bit because we don't have much room to stand up here. I do want it to stick out a bit more than it is now, so I'm probably going to bring it out to that little part right here, and we're going to have it curve inward so we have a bit of an overhang. Okay, so obviously we're not done up here, and admittedly things do look a bit dire from below, but at least now we have some fucking hiccups. But the main thing now is that we have enough room to build on. First things first, I'm going to find the center point of our cliff edge. So this is 10 blocks wide, it looks like. Our building is going to be an even number of blocks wide, so I'm going to start it here, and I don't know how long it's going to be. I say this every time, but I don't know how big a build is going to be until I start building. It doesn't need to be too big, it just needs to be big enough to see from a distance and big enough to house our nether portal. So we're going to start by laying a foundation and then decide where to go from there. I actually think I need to make it a bit wider. Instead of having walls, we're going to have pillars around the perimeter, and I want them to start one block in, and then I want to have enough room for like a gap between it and the portal. Or how the fuck did I mess this up? Why is this? Oh, it's just because the portal's off center. It's not actually uneven. Whoops. All right, the foundation is 14 blocks wide and 16 blocks long, which means it's just barely longer than it is wide, which I'm okay with. I did want it to be a bit more square than some of our other builds. But I think that works out perfectly. I think... Okay, now I need to figure out how I want to build these pillars. Do I want them to be thinner and spaced out a bit more? Ooh, shit. I don't know how I'm going to space these out. I had the same problem when we were working on the skeleton farm. I did not know how to space out the, like, support columns. Tell you what, why don't we have a 2-block wide gap from the corner piece and then a 4-block wide gap in the middle, and that'll be our doorway, and we'll just mirror it on the other side. I think that's a compromise. Move our portal. I suppose I should put it on sort of a pedestal. That's what I normally do with my portals. I like to have them raised off the ground a fair bit. I forgot how long these took to break. We'll be right back. So really early on in the series, I mentioned that I wanted to dedicate an entire episode to the nether. And I was planning this build as far back as then. Like, I believe it was like episode 3. And originally I intended for it to be sort of a double feature. Like I was going to feature 2 builds in one episode. I was going to have obviously this build in the overworld, and I wanted to also build a base inside the nether to sort of like operate out of, right? Whenever we need to like go in for more like glowstone or whatever we need, right? And I've very quickly realized that I cannot do that. I cannot do 2 builds in one episode. So for the sake of my own sanity, we're going to be splitting it in 2. I didn't realize we were high up enough for the clouds to pass through here. I'm kind of tempted to push this back like 2 more blocks maybe. But I just tore it down and moved it, and I mean, I definitely feel like the room is too small with it this far forward. So, guess I'm turning it back down again. I do kind of like the effect of clouds passing through. It's particularly annoying on closed off buildings, but it kind of makes sense for it to pass through here. It's kind of like fog, like on a foggy mountaintop, you know? I was starting to feel like my bow was a bit useless since it does so little damage, and mobs do have invulnerability frames between shots. But I realized I've become increasingly reluctant to fight creepers around my home. So it is pretty useful for just keeping them at a distance. God damn, I'm good. Does that not look way better than just a purple fucking rectangle on the top of the mountain? That's gonna look so good when it's finished. I can already tell you that. Especially once I fix the fucking mountain. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I've been pretty reluctant to use lava for smelting large quantities of items at a time. Because in this version, the bucket is consumed once you start smelting. So I figured it'd be a waste of iron, but I actually have so much iron that it's not really a big deal. It might be an idea to start collecting lava from the nether for use in our smeltery. Realistically, I'm not gonna miss 3 iron ingots when I have half a thousand just sitting in a chest doing nothing. I wonder how would it look if we used stone to sort of accent the carpet. I think that looks a bit better than just solid sandstone. I try to build roofs out of stairs or slabs wherever I can, just so I don't have to worry about monsters spawning, but since I can't do that here, we are going to have to light this up a fair bit like we did down there. Shit. Okay, roof is done. I'm going to see if I can't get a good look at this at night from a distance without being blown to smithereens or shot to pieces. I don't think I like how it's rounded at the top. I think I might have to bring those 2 center blocks in 1 block higher just so it meets at a point. But other than that, I think it looks pretty nice. I think it would probably look better during the day though. There's just a bit too much shade on it. Now, if you'll excuse me, I think I'm gonna wait this night out up here. Yeah, I definitely think it looks better during the day. Okay, with the main structure completed, all that's really left to do is to finish filling out this area up here and create a pathway heading back down towards the main road down there. And I'm thinking I want, on either side of the stairway, I want these little planter boxes with patches of grass and flowers. So something a bit like this. Pretend grass has already spread up to these little dirt plots. We're going to have tall grass up there and some flowers, and I think it could look pretty nice as sort of a exterior garden. I think the path coming down should stay cobblestone, but it should very quickly blend back into our typical gravel roads, and the staircase up can be made out of wood, I think. Because of the general shape of the mountain, unless we want to do a good amount of terraforming to widen this cliff face out a bit, our walkway is going to be pretty close to the edge, which I don't have a problem with. I personally think it makes the hike up here feel a bit more perilous. I do really like the silhouette just on the horizon. I think it looks really nice up there. It just adds so much more character to what is otherwise just a mound of dirt and stone overlooking our little town. Fuck! Ah! my god! Where the hell did they spawn from? Okay, no more building at night. Like, full stop. Jesus Christ, that gave me a heart attack. I thought I heard footsteps behind me. Okay, it's not as bad as it looks. He did delete some of my gravel, which I'm not super happy about. As a matter of fact, I'm pissed, because now I have to go get more, but super easy repair. It's a fucking another one, you bastard. Fuck off my property. Okay, so there's our finished walkway. Nothing fancy, just a simple wooden and cobblestone staircase. It's not much, but it's the kind of staircase I've always wanted to put on the side of a mountain that I've seen in other people's builds. If I changed anything about it, I'd probably make the ascent more gradual. But you know what that would mean? That'd mean a good bit of terraforming, wouldn't it? And I've had enough for one lifetime, so that's good enough. I like it. Okay, next up on the agenda is fixing this shit. It shouldn't be too hard since it's not actually that tall. I probably just want to take out this corner block, just one, and then slope it down from there. Shouldn't be too hard. I think I'm going to try to keep the original shape of the mountain intact. And by that I mean just keep like this little angled piece sticking out. And then try to conform the rest of the slope to that, if that makes sense. Of course the sun's setting like right as I start working on it. Alright, without further ado, let's light this bitch up. There we go. There's our finished nether portal. Probably the most elaborate nether portal housing I've built. But I think that looks pretty... Ooh. I think that looks pretty good. I forgot to actually extend this out a bit. I said I was gonna, but I'm too lazy. Anyways, guys, that's gonna do it for this video. It's a really simple build, but I'm still pretty happy with how it turned out. Now, whether that's because of how good it looks or the fact that it took me only 2 hours to build, I'm not so sure. But either way, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. And have a good day.